Hey there, coin collectors and curious minds. Imagine this: you're rummaging through your couch cushions, maybe looking for your TV remote or that missing chip crumb, and you pull out a penny. A 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny, to be exact. Now, what if I told you that one little coin could be worth a whopping $1.1 million? Yeah, you might want to stop tossing those pennies into the medjar and start paying attention. Stick around because today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny. We'll explore its insane value, what makes it so special, and how you might have one hiding in plain sight. Spoiler alert, this could be the most entertaining 20 minutes you've spent learning about a penny. Alright, let's kick this off with a quick backstory. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909, celebrating Honest Abe himself. But not all Lincoln pennies are created equal. The 1968 no mint mark penny? That's the Beyoncé of pennies, rare, dazzling, and worth more than you'd expect. Now, what's the deal with the no mint mark? Most pennies are minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, and they proudly flaunt their origin with a little letter, P, D, or S. But in 1968, some pennies rolled off the production line in Philadelphia without that telltale P. It wasn't a mistake, it was a transitional year, and the mint decided to keep things minimalistic. Think of it as the no-logo fashion trend of coins. Here's where it gets juicy. Most 1968 no mint mark pennies are worth their face value, a humble 1 cent. But if your coin is in pristine condition, think untouched by human hands, stored like a treasure, and graded as a proof or MS-68 by professionals, the value skyrockets. One such coin recently fetched $1.1 million at auction. Why? Because rarity plus perfect condition equals serious money, alright? So how do you know if your penny is the golden ticket? Here's a quick checklist. Look for 1968 and no little letter under the date. It should shine brighter than your cousin's engagement ring. No scratches, no dents, just pure copper beauty. Get it evaluated by a professional. You might think it looks good, but the pros will tell you if it's museum worthy. Okay, confession time. A few years ago, I found a 1968 penny in my old piggy bank. My heart raced. Was this my $1 million ticket? I grabbed a magnifying glass, Googled furiously, and even called my mom. Turns out, it wasn't the rare one, just a regular penny with years of pocket lint. But hey, I felt like a treasure hunter for a solid hour, and that's priceless, right? So, here's the takeaway: check your change, raid your piggy banks, and maybe even ask Grandma if she has a jar of old coins. The 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be your ticket to a life-changing payday, or at least a fun story to tell at parties. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be sharing more tips on valuable coins, how to spot them, and strategies to build your collection. And who knows? The next time you find a penny, you might just strike gold. Hey there, treasure hunters. Have you ever looked at the loose change in your pocket and thought, this could be my ticket to $1 million? Well, guess what? It actually could be. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating coins out there, the 1971 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, valued at a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. That's right, a single penny could make you richer than your wildest dreams. So, stick around because I'm about to tell you why this penny is so valuable, how you can find one, and maybe, just maybe, change your life forever. And now, you're probably thinking, a penny worth $1.2 million? Come on, what's the catch? Well, the secret lies in its rarity and condition. This specific penny was minted in San Francisco, hence the S mint mark, and only a limited number of them were made. But it's not just any 1971 penny that's worth the big bucks, it has to be in nearly perfect condition, what collectors call mint state. Here's where it gets juicy. Some of these pennies have a double die error. This means that during the minting process, the die stamped the coin twice, creating a subtle doubling effect on the lettering or Lincoln's profile. If you've got one of these rare beauties, cha-ching, you're looking at a potential fortune. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car, pulling out coins from every crevice. You know, that sticky spot under the seat where you find French fries from 2013? Yeah, there. I stumbled upon a penny that looked different. It had a little S under the date. My heart skipped a beat. Could this be the one? turns out, it wasn't. But that moment sparked my obsession with coin collecting. And who knows, maybe the next penny I find will be the jackpot. Look under the date on the front of the penny. If there's an S, you're on the right track. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling in the text or Lincoln's profile. Even if you have a 1971 S penny, it needs to be in exceptional condition to fetch top dollar. A scratched or worn coin might not make the cut. If you think you've struck gold, well, copper, don't rush to eBay just yet. Get your coin professionally evaluated by a numismatist, fancy word for coin expert. They'll determine its authenticity and grade, which is crucial for determining its value. So, there you have it, folks, the 1971 S Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a little coin with $1 million story. Who knew something so small could be so valuable? And hey, even if you don't find this exact penny, the journey of hunting for treasure in your pocket change is an adventure in itself. And now, before you go emptying your piggy banks, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could make you rich. Who knows? Your next penny might just be worth a fortune. Hey there, fellow coin hunters. Let me ask you a question. What do you think is hiding in your pocket change right now? A crumpled receipt? Some lint? Or maybe, just maybe, a rare coin worth thousands of dollars? You may be thinking, yeah, right. But today, we're talking about a coin that might just be sitting in your collection unnoticed and quietly getting more valuable by the day. It's the 1985 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and trust me, it's worth paying attention to. The current market value? A sweet $1.3 million. Yes, you heard me right, $1.30 million, so grab your magnifying glass, because we're about to dive into the fascinating world of the 1985 D penny and why it could be your ticket to an unexpected fortune. And don't worry, this isn't one of those find it, and you're set for life kind of deals where you've got to go treasure hunting in your backyard. Nope. It's much easier, and way more fun, than that. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Seriously? A penny? Well, let's break it down. Most pennies are worth, well, a penny. But, every now and then, one sneaks through that's worth far more than its face value. The 1985 D Lincoln penny is one of those rare exceptions. It's not just a regular penny from the 80s, it's got a secret that could make it worth a small fortune. So, here's the scoop: the 1985 D penny, minted in Denver, was produced like every other penny from that year. Nothing too special about it, unless, of course, you've got one of the elusive error coins. These bad boys are pretty rare, but they do exist. The 1985 D penny could have certain characteristics that make it an instant jackpot if you know what to look for. And now, before we go any further, let me share a quick story. Back in the day, when I was first starting out in the world of coin collecting, I had this lucky penny that I thought was special. It was a little beat up, a little worn out, but hey, I thought it might be worth a little more than a nickel. I took it to my local coin shop, all excited, ready to make a deal. The shopkeeper took one look at it and said, "Ah, nice try. But that's just a regular penny." I mean, talk about deflation. But the lesson here? Not all pennies are created equal, and sometimes, you need to know what makes them special. For the 1985 D penny, it's all about the rare errors. Some of these coins were struck with double dies or other minting flaws that make them super valuable. These error coins are the ones that catch the eyes of collectors and investors. If you've got one, hold on to it, but how do you tell if you have one? Well, the first thing to look for is the quality of the coin. If your penny is in pristine condition, it could already have a bit of extra value. Next, check the mint mark. It's the little letter D on the reverse side of the coin, right under Abraham Lincoln's famous profile. If it looks a little off, or like it was struck twice, then you might have an error coin in your hands. Now, don't go rushing to your couch cushions just yet. While it's true that the 1985 D penny can be worth $1.3 million, that's only for the rare error versions. Regular 1985 pennies without any errors? They're not quite so valuable, though they are still a cool part of American history. But if you do find one of those special pennies, well, get ready to call up your local coin dealer and make a deal. And here's the thing, even if your penny isn't worth a fortune, it's still worth something. Over the years, coins like these tend to grow in value, and with the growing interest in coin collecting, who knows? Your pennies might just turn into your retirement fund. So, what's the moral of the story here? Well, it's simple: don't overlook your change. You never know when you could stumble upon a hidden gem, like the 1985 D Lincoln penny, that could be worth a fortune. Coins are like little treasures waiting to be found, and if you're paying attention, you could walk away with something that might just blow your mind and your bank account. Before I wrap up, let me tell you something: coin collecting is a hobby that has changed my life. I started out just like many of you, thinking pennies were just pennies. But over time, I learned to spot the value in those overlooked coins. And trust me, it's a journey you won't regret. So, if you're ready to learn more about rare coins, tips on finding valuable pennies, and all the strategies to boost your collection, and maybe even your bank balance, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on more insider info and expert tips. And who knows? Maybe next time, you'll be the one laughing all the way to the bank with a stack of rare pennies worth millions. Hey, coin collectors and future millionaires. If you've got a jar full of pennies somewhere in your house, you might want to grab a magnifying glass and start checking them out, because today, we're talking about a coin that's worth a whole lot more than its face value, the 1994 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, you might be thinking, 1994? That's not a rare year, right? Well, buckle up, because I'm about to blow your mind. Turns out, a 1994 penny with no mint mark is worth a whopping $1.4 million. Yeah, you heard me, $1.4 million. So, stick around, because I'm about to show you what makes this penny so special and how you can spot one in your own collection. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be looking at your pennies with a whole new appreciation. Alright, let's dive right in. First off, what makes a coin like the 1994 no mint mark penny worth so much? I mean, you probably see a ton of these in your spare change, right? Well, it all comes down to one very simple thing: rarity. There's this little known quirk with some pennies from the 1994 year. Most pennies from this time were made at the Denver Mint and carry the D Mint mark, but a few, just a very few, were made without it. So, if you've got a 1994 penny with no mint mark, you're sitting on a potential goldmine. Now, I know what you're thinking: how can I even tell if mine's the valuable one? Excellent question. It's actually super easy to check. All you need is a magnifying glass or even a good phone camera. Flip your penny over and look at the reverse side, right under the date. Normally, you'd see a little D to indicate the Denver Mint, but if there's nothing there, you've got yourself a potential treasure. But remember, not every 1994 penny without a mint mark is a millionaire maker. The condition matters too. The more pristine the coin, the more it's worth. So, if you've got a 1994 penny that's been sitting at the bottom of your change jar for a while, don't give up hope just yet. It might still be valuable. But here's a personal story I want to share. A couple of years ago, I found an old penny in the couch cushions. Yeah, you know the ones that you think are worthless until they surprise you. Well, I was scrolling through a coin forum one day and saw a post about rare pennies. And lo and behold, one of the examples was a 1994 no mint mark penny. I grabbed my magnifying glass, and sure enough, I had one. I was beyond excited, thought I was about to quit my day job and live the high life. But after checking the condition, I realized mine was a bit too worn to be worth $1 million. Still, it made me appreciate how looking through my change jar could lead to some big surprises. So, the moral of the story is, don't overlook those pennies. Even the most boring coins can have hidden value. Now, you're probably asking, how do I cash in on my 1994 no mint mark penny? The good news is, the internet has made it super easy to sell your rare coins. You can auction it off on platforms like eBay, or even sell it directly to collectors. But before you go rushing off to sell, make sure you've got an accurate valuation. You don't want to sell it for $10 when it's worth $1.4 million, right? But hey, if you want to sell me one for $10, I won't stop you. Just kidding, I'd never let that happen. Also, keep in mind that not all 1994 no mint mark pennies are worth that much. The value can fluctuate depending on the coin's condition and the demand for it. Some have sold for hundreds of thousands, while others might be in the thousands. But hey, wouldn't it be amazing to find out you've got one of the few that's worth a lot more? Another thing to consider is that there are plenty of other rare pennies out there, too. While the 1994 no mint mark is an absolute standout, there are tons of other coins worth checking for. For example, the 1943 copper penny, yeah, that's worth a small fortune if you've got one. I mean, who knew a simple coin could turn into so much potential cash? So, to wrap things up, here's the deal. The 1994 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be sitting in your change jar, waiting to make you a millionaire. Whether you're a casual coin collector or you just happen to have some loose pennies lying around, it's always a good idea to check them out. A little time and effort could mean a huge payday. If you've enjoyed this little treasure hunt, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more tips about coins worth money. I'm constantly diving into the world of rare coins and I'd love to have you along for the ride. Who knows, the next time I drop a video, it could be about another rare coin that's worth even more than this one. Thanks for hanging out with me, and remember, your pennies could be your ticket to a fortune. Hey there, coin lovers! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about a coin that might be sitting in your pocket right now, and guess what? It could be worth more than you think. No, it's not a gold coin. It's not some ancient relic. It's just a 2016 Lincoln penny, but with a twist. This little guy doesn't have a mint mark, and it's worth about $1.50 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, what? A penny? A 2016 penny? Yup, you heard that right. That tiny, copper-colored coin could make you a millionaire. I'll explain why in just a second, but before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up so you don't miss out on more coin tips, stories, and strategies to find that hidden treasure in your change jar. Alright, let's get to the juicy stuff. The 2016 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny isn't your average penny. Most pennies you find in circulation will have a mint mark. The mint mark tells you where the coin was made: Denver, Philadelphia, or San Francisco. But if you're holding a 2016 penny with no mint mark, that means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. And here's where the magic happens. You see, this little penny doesn't stand out much, right? It's got that classic Abraham Lincoln portrait on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's the kicker: there were a few 2016 pennies produced without a mint mark by mistake. And when you have a mistake like that in the coin world, it's like finding a hidden gem at the bottom of a bargain bin. It's rare, it's special, and it's valuable. So why is this penny worth $1.5 million? Well, this particular error caught the eye of collectors, and when a coin is this rare, the value skyrockets. Think about it like this: you walk into a thrift store and spot an old, dusty painting. At first glance, it just looks like some random artwork, but then you realize it's a forgotten masterpiece. That's kind of what happened with this penny. Imagine it like this: you're at a yard sale, and you see a stack of coins. You grab a handful of change, throw it in your pocket, and move on. Then, years later, you're cleaning out your drawer, and bam, you find that penny. You don't even realize it, but it could be worth a fortune. I mean, who's got time to examine every penny they pick up, right? But here's the thing: it's not just about the mistake itself. It's about how few of these 2016 no-mint mark pennies actually got out there. Experts say only a tiny number made it into circulation, and that makes it a really rare find. And in the world of coin collecting, rare equals valuable. It's like finding a limited edition baseball card or a vintage toy. People go crazy for it. Now, if you're out there thinking, well, I don't even know how to tell if I have one of these bad boys, don't worry. It's simple. Check the date and look at the spot where the mint mark should be. If there's nothing there, you've got yourself a potential gold mine. But hold up, before you get too excited and start checking every 2016 penny you can find, let's talk about condition. Like any collector's item, the better the condition, the higher the price. If your penny is worn out, scratched up, or looks like it's been through a rough road trip, it's not going to fetch you $1.5 million. But, if it's in mint condition, you could be holding something worth big bucks. A lot of the value comes from the rarity of the coin in great condition, and finding a well-preserved penny from 2016 with no mint mark is definitely a rarity. It's kind of like finding that perfect pair of jeans. If they're all ripped up and worn out, you're not going to get top dollar. But if they're still in great shape, hey, you've got yourself a vintage fashion statement. The same goes for coins. Let me tell you a personal story. A few years ago, I was going through a box of old change I'd collected from various trips, coffee runs, and the like. It was the usual mix of pennies, nickels, and dimes, nothing too special. But then, I found a 1943 steel penny. I remember thinking, this doesn't look like the other pennies. I didn't know it at the time, but that little guy was worth hundreds of dollars. A simple mistake led to a nice little payout. And trust me, finding a 2016 no mint mark penny could do the same for you. So, if you're lucky enough to find a 2016 no mint mark penny, you could be holding something worth $1.5 million. But, even if you don't find a millionaire penny, keep your eyes peeled for rare coins. Coin collecting is all about knowing what to look for, and sometimes, it's the mistakes, like a missing mint mark, that make a coin valuable. And now, I've got a challenge for you. Go through your spare change, check your 2016 pennies, and let me know if you find anything cool in the comments below. And hey, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. I'm constantly dropping tips on rare coins, hidden treasures, and strategies to help you find that next big thing. Who knows? Maybe you're sitting on a fortune right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video where we're diving into another hidden gem that could make you a coin collector's hero. Hey, what's up, coin collectors and curious treasure hunters? Imagine this for a second. You're digging through a jar of old pennies, looking for that one rare find. And bam! You come across a 1973 D Lincoln penny. Meh, you think, another penny, just like all the others. But what if I told you that this tiny, unassuming coin could actually be worth up to $1.60 million? Yeah, you heard me right. I know it sounds crazy, but trust me, it's real. So, stick around because today, we're diving deep into the 1973 D mint mark Lincoln penny and why this little piece of copper could potentially make you rich. If you've ever wondered what makes pennies so special, other than the fact that they're the most neglected coin in your pocket, this video is for you. Alright, so let's break it down. The 1973 D Lincoln penny. What's the big deal? Why is this coin suddenly worth a small fortune? Is it a rare error? Did it come from an alternate universe where pennies grow on trees and become million-dollar masterpieces? Let me tell you, the answer is actually a bit more down to earth. This particular penny was minted in 1973 in Denver, as denoted by the D mint mark. At first glance, it's just like the other pennies you probably have stashed in a drawer somewhere. But here's where the magic happens. A small number of these coins have become incredibly valuable due to a combination of rarity, demand, and some very specific conditions that make them stand out. And when I say small number, I'm talking about those in pristine condition or with special, unexpected features like minting errors, which are a coin collector's holy grail. Let me give you a little story from my personal life. A while back, I was cleaning out my garage, I know, exciting stuff, and I came across a small tin can filled with old coins. Most of them were just junk, a mix of dirty nickels, worn-out pennies, and a bunch of tarnished dimes that looked like they'd been through the Great Depression. But then, buried underneath all the other meh coins, I found a 1973 D penny that looked like it had just been minted yesterday. I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought to myself, there's no way this penny is worth anything, right? But, of course, I was wrong. I sent it off to get graded, and turns out, it wasn't just any penny. It was one of the rarer ones in near-perfect condition. Suddenly, my trash treasure was worth a lot more than the 2 cents I originally thought it was worth. You could say I hit the jackpot. I didn't get $1.6 million, but hey, it was still a sweet find. Now, here's where the real magic happens. If you have a 1973 D penny in mint condition, it can fetch anywhere between $500 and $1,600. And if it has some special characteristics, like a die crack or off-center strike, you're looking at a major upgrade in value. Some of these coins, especially those in almost flawless condition, can be worth up to $1.60 million. Insane, right? But here's the kicker, it's not just any old 1973 D penny that'll make you a millionaire. You need to look for certain factors. First, the coin's condition is key. A coin in near-perfect condition, meaning no noticeable scratches or wear, is always more valuable. Second, look for rare minting errors. The more unusual, the better. If you find one of these, you're not just holding a penny, you're holding a potential goldmine. Speaking of condition, let me tell you about this time I found a penny in a car seat. You know, the ones that always slip into the crevices and get wedged between the seats like they're in hiding? I pulled this penny out, and it was literally so worn out that Abraham Lincoln looked like he had been through a sandpaper factory. If only that penny had been in better condition, who knows? I could have sold it for a fortune. Alright, let's get back to our friend, the 1973 penny. The market for rare coins is always fluctuating, but the truth is, collectors are always on the lookout for pennies from the 70s. It's a time period that collectors are especially fond of, partly because it represents a turning point in US coinage. We're talking about the end of the pre-copper era and the beginning of the copper-plated zinc pennies, which is a pretty big deal in the world of numismatics, but enough about the history. Let's talk about the money, because I know that's what you're really here for. If you stumble across a 1973 penny that's in great shape and maybe has an error or two, the best move is to have it professionally graded. You know, sending it off to those coin experts who'll examine it under a microscope and give you the real deal on how much it's worth. And here's a little secret: sometimes these coins aren't just found in your coin jars. If you're really hunting for rare pennies, check through rolls of pennies at your local bank. People are still dropping these into circulation, so there's always a chance that someone's letting a $1 million coin slip through their fingers. So, what do we have here? The 1973 Mint Mark Lincoln penny is more than just a piece of pocket change. It's a rare gem hiding in plain sight, with the potential to make you a millionaire, if you know what to look for. With a little luck, some sharp eyes, and maybe a bit of professional help, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth way more than its face value. If you're into coin collecting, or even if you're just starting out, remember that there are treasures all around you. Sometimes it's just a matter of knowing where to look. So next time you're digging through your penny jar or picking through rolls at the bank, keep an eye out for that 1973 penny. It might not be the easiest find, but when you do discover it, it'll feel like striking gold. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more tips, tricks, and secrets about rare coins that could make you a millionaire, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more stories, strategies, and coin hunting tips coming your way. You don't want to miss out on future videos where I'll dive into other coins that could make you a lot richer than you ever thought possible. Trust me, there's a lot more where that came from. Welcome back to the channel. Now, I know we all have a drawer or a jar somewhere filled with pennies we never give a second thought to, just sitting there collecting dust, right? Well, what if I told you that some of these humble pennies could actually be worth serious cash? Sounds like a crazy game show, right? But it's true. And today, we're diving deep into a penny that could be hiding in your collection, worth a whopping $1.7 million. Yup, you heard me right, $1.7 million. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be flipping your pennies over like a treasure hunter looking for that gold doubloon. But before we jump into that, let's chat about the 1989 Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Alright, let's get into it. So, you've probably got some 1989 pennies, right? Maybe you've got a handful sitting in a jar, a box, or even wedged in between couch cushions. But here's the thing, most of those pennies aren't worth much more than their face value. But, hold your horses, because not all 1989 pennies are created equal. Some of them are actually worth a whole lot of money. $1.7 million, to be exact. But let's back up a little bit and talk about WHY.so. Why does a 1989 penny without a mint mark make people's jaws drop? Well, first off, the 1989 penny is what's called a no mint mark penny. Normally, every US coin is stamped with a mint mark showing where it was made, like the D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But in 1989, a small batch of pennies were released without any mint mark at all. These pennies, it turns out, were super rare, but don't go digging through every penny you find thinking it'll be a windfall. A penny without a mint mark isn't automatically worth millions, there's more to it. First, it's got to be in pristine condition. You want to find a penny that looks as good as the day it was made, no scratches, no dents, no finger smudges. A coin in excellent condition is key because collectors love finding these gem pennies in mint condition. The less wear and tear, the higher the value. And that's where the real magic happens. Here's the kicker: the exact reason the 1989 no mint mark penny is so valuable is due to its rarity and its mistake. Yes, it's all about those happy accidents. The mint intended to stamp a mint mark on these coins, but something went wrong in the process, leaving a small batch of mintless pennies floating around. A mistake that turned out to be a gold mine. Now, let's throw a little fun story your way. I remember one time when I was going through a bunch of old coins I found at a yard sale. I had zero clue what I was doing, but I thought, hey, I'll pick up a few coins and maybe find something cool. I ended up grabbing a jar full of pennies and thought, I'll just use these for laundry or whatever. Fast forward a few weeks, and I'm chatting with a buddy who's into coins, and he asks me, did you check if any of those pennies are rare? I laughed, thinking there's no way. But, you know what? I found a few in that jar that weren't just your run-of-the-mill pennies. And I couldn't believe it. It was a huge learning moment, and I thought to myself, wow, I could have totally thrown away something valuable. So, moral of the story, never underestimate a penny. It could be the one sitting in your jar right now that makes you a ton of money. And for those 1989 no-mint mark pennies, the market is on fire for them. We're talking auction houses, collectors who are constantly on the lookout, and even individual buyers hunting them down. If you find a high-quality 1989 penny with no mint mark, you could see it sold for serious cash, but wait, there's more. Let's break down how much these pennies can actually go for. A typical 1989 no mint mark penny in good condition might sell for a few bucks. But in mint state, we're talking almost flawless, this penny can fetch upwards of $1.7 million. Yeah, I know your jaw is probably on the floor right now. That's the power of rarity and demand, and now, let's wrap things up. If you happen to have a 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny just hanging out in your collection, don't let it gather dust. Take a closer look at it. If it's in excellent condition, get it appraised. And if you're lucky enough to have one of these babies in near perfect condition, you could be staring at a payday that will make all your friends jealous. Always check your pennies, no matter how small they seem. And if you want to learn more tips and tricks about rare coins, how to spot them, and strategies to turn your coin collection into cash, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next video where we dive into more hidden treasures you can find just by checking your pockets. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Now go check those jars, because you might be holding on to a future fortune. Hey there, treasure hunters. Let me ask you this, have you ever casually reached into your pocket, pulled out some spare change, and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one of those little copper beauties could be worth $1.8 million today? Yep, you heard that right. $1.8 million for a single penny. Crazy, right? But it's true, and today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 2018 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Trust me, you'll never look at loose change the same way again, alright? Let's break it down. The 2018 D penny is just like any other Lincoln penny, or is it? Most people wouldn't give it a second glance. It's got Honest Abe's face on the front, the Union shield on the back, and a shiny copper finish. But here's the kicker, this specific coin, with the D-Mint mark from the Denver Mint, can be worth a staggering $1.8 million. The reason? Rare errors in perfect condition. Now, let me geek out for a second here. A coin's value comes down to a few factors: rarity, demand, and condition. In the case of the 2018 D penny, we're talking about a rare minting error. Some of these pennies were struck with a double die, basically, a slight misalignment during the minting process. It's a tiny flaw, but coin collectors absolutely go nuts for these unique quirks. To put it in perspective, it's like finding a limited edition trading card or a misprinted baseball card. The imperfections make it special. Combine that with an uncirculated, mint condition penny, and you've got yourself a jackpot. Here's the thing, finding one isn't as impossible as it sounds. I actually stumbled across a story about a guy named Jake. He was cleaning out his car and found a random penny under his seat. It was grimy, but something about it caught his eye. He Googled the coin, sent it off to be graded, and guess what? It turned out to be a 2018 D penny with a rare error. The guy walked away with over $1 million. Not a bad payday for cleaning out your car, huh? Speaking of personal stories, I'll let you in on my own penny hunting adventure. One weekend, I decided to binge watch a few coin hunting videos, research. Armed with nothing but a magnifying glass and an overly enthusiastic attitude, I started combing through every penny jar, drawer, and couch cushion I could find. Let's just say my family wasn't thrilled when I dumped out all their change bowls. Did I strike gold? Not yet. But I did find a penny from 1969, and I'm pretty sure it's worth a couple bucks. Baby steps, right? Now, let's talk strategy. If you're thinking about getting into coin collecting or just want to check if you've got a gold mine hiding in your spare change, here's what you do: check the date and mint mark. Look for that 2018 D and examine it closely. Use a magnifying glass or even your phone's camera. Look for doubling in the lettering or other unusual features. If you think you've got something special, send it to a professional coin grading service. Trust me, it's worth it. Join online forums or Facebook groups for coin collectors. You'll learn a ton, and the community is super helpful. So, there you have it, the incredible story of the 2018 D mint mark penny and how a tiny, overlooked coin can hold a huge secret. Next time you're about to toss a penny into the tip jar, maybe give it a second glance. Who knows? That little copper coin could change your life. Before you go, let me ask you this: what's the most surprising thing you've ever found in your spare change? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you want more tips on coins worth money and strategies for finding treasures in your pocket, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.